welcome to the show. It's the Football Show Monday. My name is Wale. It's nice for you to tune in to us and obviously join us on the show today. Um, if I haven't given it away, we're going to be talking about the Super Eagles today. As you can see, I am dressed in the Super Eagles uniform, jersey. Although I've not been called to camp, and I'm seriously probably going to send my letter of annoyance to the technical advisor, what head coach or coach, whatever you want to call it, or the manager of the Super Eagles team. Well, as you well might have known, the Super Eagles lost to the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon in Vienna, Austria, just last week Friday, I guess. So it's there's a sort of return match coming up tomorrow against the Indomitable Lions. So we're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about England and how far they will go in the Euro, which obviously is going to be kicking off very soon. England obviously played against Romania, and there's been the hullabaloo about and uproar about some people are some players that should not be in that team, but they are there. Well, we'll touch about that today again. And obviously, where we left it last week, we said we're going to talk about Arsenal and what is going on with our team. That my guest today is a fanatical, fervent supporter. So my colleague and friend, Yemi Alfalaji, is joining us today. Yemi, it's an experienced journalist, obviously also, like I said, a fanatical supporter of Arsenal Football Club. And unfortunately, Yemi will not be singing like Dr. Kelechi today. He won't be singing at all. I can assure you, won't. And but obviously, he's going to be pouring his heart out about his beloved Arsenal. So, Yemi, thank you for joining us again on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Yes, so it's a football show again, and my name remains Wale. Um, let us start from our fatherland,
Yeah.
where we know very much, and talk about the Super Eagles. Tomorrow, they engage the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon again
Yeah.
in a second leg of the friendly. The first
Yeah.
leg ended 1-0 to the Cameroonians, and everyone was up in arms against Gareth Rohr, the Super Eagles manager, for that. Some will say an average performance, others will argue and say it was actually woeful. And because the game was like a bit drab.
Yeah.
Probably players were on holiday. Okay, you could see the holiday spirit in them.
Yeah.
And uh, my question is, and before we go into that, I must say, on this day, a few years ago, we lost Super Eagles former um, skipper, very influential
Stephen
skipper and manager, Stephen
Stephen
Keshi,
Keshi.
and
Yeah.
our hearts goes out to the family, and we
Yeah.
do hope big Stephen Keshi, who happens to be a someone I actually also knew, apart from being one of my old school football captain. I'm talking about St. Famous College. He was a student there. So Keshi is gone. His legacy is still there,
Yeah.
and he done wonders for Nigerian football. He opened the doors, so to say, to Nigerians playing abroad. And I don't know, Yemi, you want to say a few things about um, Big Steve,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would
aka
like
the
to say.
boss.
Yeah, the big boss, as it
Mm,
was fondly
big boss,
known.
yeah.
Yeah. I would say that first of all, that as you said, and our hearts go out to the family of Stephen Keshi, because he passed on at quite a young age. I believe Keshi was about 54 when he passed on. Please correct me,
Yeah,
Waleed, if I'm yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That is too young. But it was a life full of accomplishments. I think the thing about Keshi was that I think he blazed the trail for a lot of
Mm-hmm,
Nigerian players,
mm-hmm,
to go into Europe, and pursue the game professionally over there. So he opened a lot of doors. He's as a player when he was in Nigeria. When I was young, Keshi was playing for NNB. I remember
Mm.
New
Yeah.
Nigeria Bank.
New Nigerian Bank. Yeah.
Yeah, and what a team that was! They were winning WAFU
Mm.
Cup at will,
Yeah.
and then he made the move to Cote d'Ivoire to play for
Yeah.
I
State
think
Abidjan.
Stade
State
Abidjan.
Abidjan.
Stade
Yeah.
Abidjan, yeah.
Mm.
And from there, he went to Europe. So he's the one who first sort of like, you know, took the bull by the horns. So I'm going to take my career, off my hands, and I'm going to make something out of it. And he did. He got himself into Europe, played for some of the biggest, the biggest club in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
So Anderlecht. So and then he captained the Super Eagles, and he led the team that qualified Nigeria for the first World Cup in 1994. I remember that game that where Nigeria qualified against Algeria. The
Mm.
second leg, it was
Mm-hmm.
a draw. I remember the final
Mm.
whistle, the celebration of Keshi and the others.
Yeah.
They were
Mm.
hugging each other on the pitch. It was quite an emotional day. Personally, for me as a fan, that's a day I'll never forget because as a kid,
Mm.
I'd always wanted to see Nigeria at the World Cup. It finally happened in '94, and he led that team, even though he wasn't, you know, he wasn't a starter for that team in '94. But
Mm-hmm.
his influence in the dressing room, I can only imagine, because he was not just a good player; he was a leader, and he was
It
a
was.
captain.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
we could see this as he then transformed from a player to a manager, and his work speaks for itself. He managed Togo, proved himself there, got the job with Nigeria. Despite all the problems he had with the association, he won Nigeria the Nations Cup. He
Mm.
was the first Nigerian coach to do it. Without, and I must say, I don't think he got the full support of the FA. So he
Yeah.
defied the odds to win that final against Burkina Faso, if I
Mm.
remember correctly. So Keshi, great achiever, great leader, basically the best captain that Nigerian the Super Eagles have ever had. So because it
Exactly.
wasn't just about his ability on the field, it was his ability as a leader as well. And I remember Keshi was unapologetic in his belief that he could do it, that the FA did
Mm.
not need to go and get a foreign coach, and he proved it.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate that he died at the time that he did, but he's a guy whose name will forever be remembered in the annals of Nigerian football. And I pray that his soul continues to rest in peace. Yeah,
And definitely so, because
yeah,
he's not just a legend. It wasn't just a legend
mm,
of football.
mm,
Actually playing the game. It
yeah,
was also a legend when it comes to coaching and managing.
yeah,
And I remember I was saying to someone before John Terry, the leader legend. There was Stephen Keshi, who
Stephen
was a
Keshi.
leader and
Yeah,
a legend. Because if Keshi was
yeah,
probably from this part of the world, he would have probably been, I don't
yeah,
know, well
yeah.
celebrated. But
Absolutely, absolutely.
it's just sad commentary that we lost
Yeah,
him at a fairly young age at
yeah.
54. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was, and another thing that just a brief mention about that '94. So I find quite disturbing is that about 4 or 5 of those guys are gone now.
Mm.
Stephen Keshi, Thompson Olia, uh,
Uchio Kafo.
Uche Okafo,
Mm.
Rashidi Yekini.
Yeah.
It's a bit scary that we've lost that
Yeah.
many. But yeah, so it just goes to show that perhaps there's something within the system which is not. I don't think it's just football related alone.
Mm.
I just think it's a failure of the system. Maybe something to do with healthcare that where
Mm.
you know our players and people in general aren't getting the right support that they need
Yeah.
in
Especially
terms of
after,
after the
especially
after
after
retirement.
after the playing career. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
regular
Mm.
checkups and all that. So I'd
Mm.
like to put it out there. We've all got to look after our health. We might think we're
Mm.
healthy, but you just never know. Just keep checking the blood pressure, cholesterol, everything, make sure that everything's ticking over nicely, so that if anything's wrong, they can quickly spot it, and then you can get it sorted. But that was just some observation of mine. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Thanks for those sweet words about the big boss, and we hope
yeah,
big boss up there,
mm,
he continues to be what he was when he was
yeah,
down here playing
yeah,
football, a leader and a legend and a big boss, and in
yeah,
whatever dressing room is up there.
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
Yemi, I did mention at the start of the game, yeah, of this show, about the Super Eagles playing against about
yeah,
Cameroon and
yeah,
losing to Cameroon, and
yeah,
obviously the return leg is coming up tomorrow.
yeah,
We've been seeing the Super Eagles team being on a merry-go-round, more to say.
yeah,
One moment they're on top, and at the other moment they're down there. And when you see them, they seem so ruthless the way they play. And
yeah, yeah,
these are players that play for
yeah.
good
Played on
teams
less.
in Europe.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
players at Leicester City. We
exactly.
have
We've
players
got
in
Napoli.
Napoli.
Yeah,
I
yeah. You got the Golden Boot winner in Belgium. You
yeah,
know,
uh, yeah,
playing Polo Noachu, and you've
yeah.
got so
Polonarchi.
many
Yeah,
players, yeah, doing well in Europe, and then
I, I
you see them not really achieving as a team. What's going on with that team?
I think it's things are quite different these days to the 80s and the 90s or the early 2000s, when winning you know were honors for your national team you know ranks higher on your priority list than winning something with your club. Because
Mm,
as we just mentioned, the Keshis and all that, yeah, they wanted to win with their clubs, but representing the national team and actually winning with the national team was far more important for those guys than representing their clubs. Yeah, their clubs were, that's how they made their livelihood. But there was something about it when they pulled on that green and white, the passion, the drive, to do well for the nation was really there. I think for the guys today, the players there today, there seems to be more of priorities have changed, and I don't think it's just for the players as well. I think even for the fans, even the fans in
mm,
Nigeria now, there's more of a support for their club sides
exactly.
than the national team. There's more
Mm,
passion when they follow the Arsenals, the Chelseas, and the Man Uniteds of this world than when they're supporting the Super Eagles. I mean, that being said, yes, every Nigerian fan still wants the Super Eagles to do well. And I see that with the players, there's probably not that much of a. I wouldn't want to use the word commitment, but I think there seems to be a need for more on their part when they pull on the green and white. Yes, admittedly, it was a friendly match against Cameroon, but I, uh, I saw that game. I was watching it on the link. The link wasn't very good, so
mm,
I'm not going to be too critical because I would not say that link was great. So I couldn't really judge. But as you said, it looked like a pretty drab game. I think Nigeria actually had more chances than Cameroon, but I, they weren't. They didn't play that well. I mean, when I see Ian Nacho for Kelechi for
Leicester.
Leicester, I mean,
Mm,
it's not the same that I see for Nigeria. And the same
exactly.
applies to every other player. Perhaps it's because it's a friendly, maybe at a major
Mm,
tournament like a Nations Cup or at a World Cup. Because I did, at the last World Cup, yeah, you could see that passion and drive in the team. It was the global stage and they all wanted to do well. Maybe that's what they're looking for, they're waiting for that big stage to really play full, passionate, committed football. It shouldn't have to be at the World Cup only. It should be any time
mm,
you pull on the shirt. But it's as it is now, and also some players were missing from that game. They pulled out last minute due to injuries, and the
yeah.
season's just ended. There's a lot of fatigue. Victor Osimhen wasn't available for that game. I believe a few other guys too were not available, so that might be why there wasn't that much of cohesion and teamwork. Maybe it will be better tomorrow when
Mm,
they've had a bit more time together. And
mm,
I mean, Nigeria has a history with Cameroon.
exactly. Yeah.
They've, I think they've caused us heartache too many times, and in the Nations
Far too
Cup.
many times.
They've
Yeah.
beaten us 3 times in the final in
Mm.
1984, 88, and then in Lagos in 2000.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they made us cry quite a bit. They've always been a difficult team to beat, but Nigeria at least got one over them at the last Nations Cup.
Mm.
Nigeria eliminated them in the knockout stages, but
Yeah.
yeah, but there's nothing more hurtful than losing in the final. So I'm looking forward to meeting them in a final soon, and sort of
Yeah.
like giving them a dose of their own medicine, if you know what I mean. Yeah,
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 yeah. You mean we're going to be looking at the starting lineup
yeah,
of the
yeah,
last game.
yeah,
We played against Cameroon,
yeah,
and
yeah,
before we go ahead, I just want to say welcome, Naki. Thanks for joining us on LinkedIn, watching us live on LinkedIn. Obviously, people are also see watching us from on Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you, Naki, for joining us. She says hi, guys. Hi, hello, how is your
hello,
day?
thanks for joining
So,
us. Yeah,
looking at that lineup, if that lineup is ready, I mean, let's just have a look at the
yeah,
lineup that we played against Cameroon the last
against
game.
Cameroon. Yeah,
Yeah, so we again, I will mention the fact that you know we've got quality players. If you look at the lineup on that game when we
yeah,
played Cameroon the first time, it was a fairly decent lineup. I
it
mean,
was.
there
Yeah,
are
it
players
was.
you see there that probably football players, football fans. If you're a real football fans, especially if you follow African football, you're
Yeah,
readily able to see and recognize those names, especially from those guys playing in Europe. I mean, you'll be able
yeah,
to probably recognize Ian Acho,
mm,
Moses Simon, and if you follow the Dutch league, you recognize the goalkeeper. Um,
yeah,
and obviously on paper, you'll have seen, yeah, good team coming out. Fine, it's a friendly, but maybe we should be using this kind of
mm,
friendly to test other players too, not
yeah,
necessarily the usual players that come into
yeah.
the national state. Do you think at the moment we have the right caliber of players being invited to the Super Eagles to play for us?
Yeah, I think. I mean, until recently, the top scorer in the Belgian league had not been invited.
Hmm.
For a while, he
It's
hadn't been,
Paul.
yeah, Paulo Nacho, and I was beginning to wonder why he wasn't being called. I get that. Yes, he's got Kilichi, who is Leicester City's top scorer for the season. I get that, but it's not such a bad thing if he introduces some depth into the squad. So yeah, so in that regard, I was wondering why he hadn't had more caps, but it was good to see him get called up this time. Perhaps he just was looking for the right opportunity and the right game to play him. And I also noticed that quite a lot of our players now, they are players that are they're sort of like they sort of like qualify to play for another country. So we have the likes of Troost Ekong, Leon Balogun, and quite a few of them like that. And yeah, so there's this belief that um, perhaps while that is not such a bad thing, perhaps we should be also looking a bit more inwards about but what when I say inwards, I'm talking about guys who are not necessarily just in the local league, but guys who maybe have recently moved to Europe and all that, and for whom the only country they can represent is Nigeria. But the problem now is this: the state of the league in Nigeria has been so poor that
Mm.
I can understand why the manager is Gerard Rowe is reluctant to invite players from the local league or players who have only just moved to Europe, because a lot of the teams that is going to be testing these players against will already have a majority of their players in Europe as well. The Cameroons of this world, the Ghanas, the Tunisias, the Algerias, the Moroccos, all the top African sides. A lot of their players play in Europe already, so I can
Mm.
get why he focuses more on players that are already based in Europe, and a lot of players who have had come up within the system in Europe. Probably have played, junior internationals for other countries, but not played senior internationals for them. So he then takes, you know, identifies that gap and sees that, okay, I'll better give them a cap before these other countries. So, yeah, I mean, while that is a good idea, I can understand why some people frown upon it, but are we blessed with an abundance of talent like the 1994 team? No, we're not. We have
Mm.
good players, but we don't have that complete blend of the 94 team at the moment. No, I mean, we have a good team to pick from, but is it complete from goalkeeper to striker? For like Peter Rufai to Yakini, I wouldn't say so. There are some good
Mm.
strikers there, some good midfielders in Ndidi, some good defenders, but I would say in the area of defense, we're just quite average. Yeah, in
Mm.
midfield there is some talent there, and definitely Kelechi is up there with some of the best in at least the second half of this season. He proved himself, really well, and indeed he's one of the best. I would say after Kante, you'd pick Ndidi in the Premier League.
Definitely.
So yeah,
Yeah.
there is definite quality there. Alex Iwobi is a really passionate guy, yeah, but his decision making just kind of lets him down sometimes. But he's still young, he's willing to improve, and he keeps showing progress. Uh, but the players that most excite me are the new guy, Paul Onuachu, and obviously Kelechi, we all know about. So yeah,
Mm.
so those are the players that excite me the most. And I think Paul Onuachu is he 6 foot? What is he? How tall is he again?
I think he's about 5 or so, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. He's
So
a, he's
they
a
could,
massive,
yeah.
massive guy.
So that is one strength that they could. I'm not saying lob it up to him like they do at Stoke City, no. But it offers us some sort of like variation.
A plan
If some
B,
Yeah, a plan B. If you want to go
especially when we're
long,
stuck. Yeah.
yeah, you can go long to him. He can hold the
Mm.
ball up, and then a more mobile player like Kilichi can pick up the pieces. A bit like
Mm.
Peter
Peter
Crouch,
Crouch, Peter
Peter
Crouch,
Crouch
and
and
Owen, Michael
Owen
Owen.
and
Yeah.
Michael Owen combination, or Peter
Mm.
Crouch and Jermaine Defoe combination, something like that.
Combination. Yeah.
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 So that is an option now that I'm sure Raw. I mean, he would know that better than me. That is one strength of Paul that they can use. But I think that it's probably harder these days to get a lot of time in camp to train together. So that is probably what
Mm.
Gerard
Mm.
Roy is facing. So
Mm.
I think until a major tournament where they can spend at least a couple of weeks in camp before the actual competition starts, I think that's what we'll be looking at. Maybe a bit of disjointed performance here and there, but when it gets to the main competition, then we'll see a more cohesive unit for Nigeria. But I think at the next Nations Cup, I think they will probably the Eagles will probably be on fire again because
And you definitely believe that, Yemi.
yeah.
And do you think,
I,
again, do you think Roy is the right man to probably fire the Super Eagles
um
to that
I
trophy?
yeah, I think possibly. I mean, I know that there are some murmurings that he's probably not the man anymore, and I see why that is, because it seems as if the team has become stale under him. But I'm just trying to think now, as in who is the candidate out there that they can get? Yeah. Well, who is the candidate? No, are they willing to? Are they going to go down the European coach route again, or foreign coach route, or are they going to give it to somebody from within Nigeria? Are they going to try an Amokachi maybe? Who knows? So
Amokachi, who is in Aso Rock now. I doubt if he would be able to leave Aso Rock to go and coach the Super Eagles.
well, if they offer him the job, he probably would take it. But I don't think he'll get the job. But
Mm.
I think Garrett Roy is going to be the one to take them there, because I don't think there's an appetite to change him. Personally, I think the team needs new direction, but I don't think the FA is really keen on doing that. And now, if they take him to the next Nations Cup, how do I rate the chances? Well, it's not it's a bit harder now because I mean, with the last Nations Cup with Algeria, we saw, you know, what they could do. You know, they had good organization. They didn't really have, apart from Mahrez, they didn't really have any, you know, too many standout players. But it was more of the
Yeah.
teamwork. They were well organized. They were just like any European team, well organized, and then they hit you on the break. And I think they were deserved winners of the last Nations Cup. You know,
Yeah.
they beat the strongest teams in that competition. They beat Nigeria, they beat Senegal with all their stars. So I think what Nigeria needs to do is to go back to that, a bit less of a reliance on the stars and on more teamwork, and then the stars in the team will shine within that organizational unit that he's able to bring to bear when it comes to the Nations Cup. So that's what I see. But it is going to be tough. I mean, Cameroon is going to be there. The North African teams are going to be there. I would not say
Senegal.
Senegal's there. They've
Senegal will
got
definitely be there.
Senegal have outstanding individuals. I mean,
Yeah.
they've got Sadio Mane, and
They've got Edu now from
they got
Chelsea.
from
Chelsea
Chelsea.
number one.
Chelsea number one goalkeeper. So yeah, they've got quite a good team. So
Mhm.
I mean, in terms of individual talent, I don't think Nigeria really stands out as the best, but they will be one of the contenders definitely. So I mean, Nigeria has won the Nations Cup 3 times. I mean, when you think that Egypt has won it, is it 6 or 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So yeah,
and you can
I
never
think
discount the Egyptians,
yeah, I
especially with
think
Mo Salah there.
yeah, I think it's time for Nigeria to start racking up more Nations Cup wins. I mean, Cameroon has 5, Ghana has 5. So for a country of Nigeria status, a team of Nigeria status, it needs to be more than 3. it
I
needs to be
say
more than
amen to that.
it needs to be more
I
than
say
3.
I
Yeah,
say amen to that. There was one particular player that quite a lot of people actually gave a telling of during the game against Cameroon, and this I kind of look at him, and I know you mentioned him. I kind of look at him, and I feel Alexi Iwobi should be a shining light in that team. He left Arsenal after a very promising career, went to
yeah,
Everton, and we thought he's probably turned the road. You know, he's going to
hmm,
go places, especially having a very good man manager like Carlo Ancelotti there. But he
hmm,
went pear-shaped for him. He went from hot to cold,
yeah,
to being a cold person. So and he comes to Nigeria. We don't know where his right position is. Is he a winger? Is he
yeah,
a wing back? Is he a midfield? Is he number 10? Where
yeah,
do you play him? And one of my favorite quotes, someone made a quote in on Twitter that I saw. It said Alex Iwobi is just Raheem Sterling with dreadlocks and a Nigerian passport, and all they do is just running and nothing. You know, first
um,
that was a really
uh,
damning assessment of Alex Iwobi. He's a very talented boy. He's a very
yeah,
talented player. For you to play in Arsenal and even go to Everton,
yeah,
a top club, I mean,
yeah.
you need to have something. But why?
So
Where is it missing for Alex?
yeah, I mean, first of all, I'd like to say that I mean, with all due respect, I mean, as much as Sterling has not had a great season, if Alex Iwobi was like Sterling, I would be happy as a Nigerian fan
Yeah,
because Sterling
definitely.
until this season has been outstanding.
It's been
So
top player. Yeah.
he's had an average season. So I
Mhm.
wouldn't even. I mean, no disrespect to Alex. I love him to pieces. He's still an
Yeah.
Arsenal fan. Everyone
Yeah.
still loves him at Arsenal.
Mm.
He's not. If Alex Iwobi develops to be as good as Sterling, then he's done well. He's
Very
done
well.
well.
Excellently well. Yeah.
Right now, as you said, it's hard to figure out what really is his best position. It's hard to,
Mm.
to actually identify. I mean, his strengths are like, yeah, he runs and runs, and he's a hard worker. But
Yes. Yeah.
I think it, I think he makes up for. Okay, is that if I could compare to say someone like Kilichi, who until this season has been having a pretty average time at
Yeah.
Leicester, yeah. Kelechi, until this season, has always been somebody who was immensely talented, but has not been fulfilling his potential. He's somebody who was gifted, but has not been showing it on the pitch. It seems as if he wasn't that committed. But I think the penny dropped for him this season. That
Hmm.
look, If I'm not careful, I will have gone from Man City to Leicester, and I've dropped to some, lower table team. But
Yeah.
he's picked himself up. But the thing is with Kelechi is that gift has always been there. Wobi, on the other hand, I think is more of a grafter, a hard worker, than an immensely skilled player. So he's going to have to work within himself to find a role for himself. It might be that wing back role because Iwobi can run all day. So maybe a wing back role at the right side of the defense, running up and down the pitch in sort of like a 3-4-3 system. That might work
Hmm.
for him because I don't think Iwobi can be. You can actually put him out there on the wing, left or right, and expect him to always beat his man and to always, deliver the perfect cross. But if you want somebody to cover, you know, one side of the pitch, running from defense to attack and closing down space, it could probably do it. But I think for now, if I had to play him anywhere I mean, in for Nigeria, he mostly plays wide, doesn't he? So
Hmm.
so I think that's probably the position for him right now. But I'd say it will be. I'd give him another couple of seasons, and then if things are still like they are now, then he's probably gonna, just might have to go to a smaller team than Everton, which is a shame
It
because
will be a shame.
he's gone from Arsenal to Everton. Everton is still a big club,
Oh
but
yeah.
if he goes from Everton to, say, he drops down to, say, Palace or something like that, and then he keeps going further down, then it might just not really happen for him in terms of a big move to a big club, playing Champions League every year and winning big trophies. But Iwobi is still young. He's not
Exactly.
even he's not even 25 yet. Yeah. So let's not write him off. He's
No.
somebody I really, really want him to do well. I look at his Instagram page, and he's got nothing but love for his country.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's always bigging up Nigeria. He identifies with the country, passionately, and that's why I really, really want that young man to do well. So let's give him some time. It might be a late bloomer. Hey, I mean, Drogba didn't really bloom
Exactly.
bloom bloom until his late
Until,
20s. Who knows?
yes.
In another three, four
Yes.
years from now, it will be playing for Real Madrid.
Amen. You know
you
what,
you never know.
Alex Iwobi, if you're watching, or if someone who knows Alex is watching, listen, guy, we totally support you. We love you
Absolutely.
because you've done so well for your country. You've got you've
Yeah.
got this you've got this
Yeah.
tattooed
Yeah.
in your heart. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anytime you come, we'll always give you the support. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
please, we want you to get up there. All right,
Yeah.
pick it up,
Yeah.
man. Pick it
Yeah.
up, mate. All right, and
Yeah.
give it a
Yeah.
go. All right, we're giving you all the support, 100%, mate.
Absolutely.
All right.
100%.
Okay.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go on a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna obviously touch on England itself
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
Euros and the Euros, and obviously talk about
Yeah.
some in and outs. We should be on the train. I know we Gareth Southgate probably made up his mind. He's already named his team anyway. But
Yeah. Yeah.
the thing is, talk about some people not shouldn't even be at
Yeah.
the bus stop. Not to talk of getting on the bus. Okay, so we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we talk about England and your beloved Arsenal. Join us
Yeah.
soon.
Will do.
Welcome back. It's the Football Show Monday, and my name is Wale. And as you come with us, Yemi Alfalaju, who is a friend of the show, and we've been talking about the Super Eagles so far. We talked about Super Eagles, talk about specific players in that team and what we expect that team to achieve, especially qualifying for the next World Cup and the AFCON, which is going to be coming up. Well, should be ideally coming up in Cameroon. We don't know where that is headed. So, I mean, let's come back home to England. And the England Euro 2020 squad has been announced. We've got
Hmm.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, TAA, getting injured. And, people have said it shouldn't be. One side of the divide is saying, why did you have to call him? He's a pretty average season anyway. And, well,
Yeah.
he did them a favor by picking up an injury and dropping off.
Yeah.
dropping off.
Yeah.
And Ben White from
He's,
Brighton is
yeah.
coming to fill this space.
Yeah.
Jesse Lingard, who everyone thought had a brilliant second half season of the season with West Ham,
Hmm.
he's on the standby list, and obviously Ollie Watkins also on the
Yeah.
standby list. And you still have Ben Godfrey, who I think is a quality defender for
Yeah.
Everton. He can
Yeah.
play anywhere that's in the back
Yeah.
four. When you put him
Yeah.
strength, he's got pace.
Yeah.
And I think for a young defender, I can read the ball really well. And
Yeah.
I do see that boy actually playing for a top six team
Yeah.
pretty soon. So
Yeah.
what's your take on that squad? And do you think Ben White from Brighton should be picked instead of Jesse? And don't forget, we've also got someone, Roy Keane said, well, he doesn't play, he doesn't sing for the team. He doesn't. I don't know what Roy Keane said about Jordan Henderson. Should Jordan be on that team to the Euros? And obviously Harry Maguire too, who is not
Yeah.
fit at all.
Yeah.
Should they be on that team?
Yeah. I think some selections have been done based on reputation and based on the fact that these are senior players that have played for me at the World Cup before. I trust them on what they in what they can do. However, I think in picking Jordan Henderson and Harry Maguire is taking it a bit too far. That's two players who could potentially not be fit for the entirety of that tournament. Picking one of them, I would understand, but picking both is, and these are both of them playing really crucial positions, and one of them, Jordan Henderson, plays in a position where England doesn't have an embarrassment of riches. So I think it would have been better off picking somebody who was actually fit that could
Like
play. Yeah.
it's got Jude Bellingham anyway, and it's got Calvin
Yeah.
Phillips there.
Yeah. It's got Jude Bellingham. It's got Calvin
And,
Phillips.
and don't forget Declan Rice too, who could obviously play
Yeah.
in that
They're,
six or whatever.
all those guys are good. I think he's picked Jordan Henderson because of his leadership qualities. Maybe he will probably he will be playing a big role in the dressing room. Maybe that's why he's picked him, because he's won Champions League with Liverpool, and he's somebody who, I mean, Jordan Henderson is not a greatly talented player, but he is a leader, and he's somebody he does his job, as in he basically stretches his abilities, and he's been great for Liverpool, I have to say. But perhaps I would rather have I would say, if I had to choose between him and um, and Harry Maguire, it's a tough one because Jordan Henderson's injury seems to be more serious than Harry's. So I'm not. So it will have been a tough. But I personally would have picked just one of them. And if I had to toss a coin, then I would have picked Jordan and left Harry Maguire out. That's what I would have done,
If,
because I think
if
they can. I think Harry Maguire, yeah, okay, he's a leader and all that, but they've got enough there to be able to actually cope. I mean, they've got they can play John Stones there. Though John Stones needs somebody steady alongside him. That's we know that of John Stones. There's
Tyron Mings,
Tyrone Mings. Tyrone Mings is a good leader. There's
Connor Cody,
Connor Cody, and then there's uh, Keane from Everton. I'm
Yeah.
not even sure Keane's in the squad. Is he?
I think he is in the squad.
He's in the
Yes.
squad. Yeah, Michael Keane.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael
Yeah.
Keane is potentially able to. He leads the Everton defense. I think he
Hmm.
could do that job. But obviously, because Maguire plays for Manchester United, is basically England's captain, well, vice captain, and is Harry Kane is the captain, is number two, so that's why he chose him. They might get away with it because it's a 20
22.
24 22.
Yeah.
I think the 22-man squad. Are they not allowed extra players because of the old virus business?
I
Is it
think
22 or
that's what
24?
that's
Okay.
probably why Jesse and Ollie are on the standby
On
list. I think.
standby. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean the choice of Ben White is a strange one for me. I would have picked
Mm.
Jesse Lingard. I mean that is somebody that that is going to get you goals if you need him, even if he's not going to start. He's basically gone with the guys that he is familiar with, regardless of form, because in this season, Sterling has not been his form has not been great, but he goes anyway. Yes, you'd understand why. Um, uh, um, Rashford, it's been sort of hit
Mm.
and miss this season, but he's gone
Mm.
anyway. Um, I would say actually the ones up front, amongst that who have actually pretty much proved that they could not be dropped. Yes, Harry Kane,
Yeah.
uh,
Obviously. Yeah.
Phil Foden, and I think only those two have been consistent throughout the season. And obviously in midfield you have Mason Mount and um, the Declan Rice has played all season from West Ham most of the time, so you can understand why he gets to go. Um, I keep saying that the central midfield. Jude Bellingham has done well for
Borussia
Dortmund. So,
Dortmund. Yeah.
yeah, so I think that's this. It is the central midfield area is probably where an area where they're not really that blessed. They are blessed in the right back area. They've got a lot of talent there. They are blessed
Mm.
in the in the wide areas. Maybe like they've got quite a lot of players that can play there. They can play Sancho right or left. They can play Foden right or
Raheem.
left. They can play Raheem. They can play Rashford. So they've got a lot of talent in attack, and that's where their
Mm.
strength lies. So I think he probably felt that he had enough there. That's why he did not pick um,
Jesse Lingard.
Jesse Lingard.
Ollie Walker. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why I didn't pick them. So, uh, and I think in the fullback position, that right back, they're covered there. Really, they've got,
I
they,
think he said he went with four right backs.
yeah, they've got Kyle Walker, they've got
They
Reece
got Rhys
James,
James, Kieran
uh,
Trippier,
Kieran Trippier, and
and
there was one other right back that went.
yeah,
I
I'm
think
not
it will have
sure
been.
who else.
I think it was. Sorry, it was. I think it's those three.
It's
Trent,
TAA. Yeah,
TAA
will have
will
been
have
up four. Yeah,
number four, and then
yeah.
that's why Ben White came in. I think with the
Mm.
TAA one, now I I think if he was fit, he should have taken him anyway. I
Yeah.
know he did not have a really great. I think defensively, we've all known that TAA has never been his strong suit.
Mm.
But when it comes to going
Going
forward,
forward,
the ability to deliver a cross and put it on a plate
it's
is
second to
still
none. That
is
team.
second to none, and they would have
Mm.
needed that because England will have tried to play to Harry Kane's strength anyway. So
Yeah.
who better to deliver the crosses and the long range passes than TAA? So I think TAA did him a favor there by not giving him a decision to make. By not making him pick four right backs.
Right backs.
So
Yeah.
I think three is enough, and that's that. They should be fine. They've still got players who can deliver dead balls in that team. Having said that, I am not sure that I think he's in the team. Um, Southampton's dead ball specialist,
What price?
James Ward-Prowse. Yeah,
No, no, no. He's
He-
not. He's not in that
yeah,
team.
he's not in that team. Well,
Mm.
so that's somebody who delivers, a good, great set piece
Set piece.
delivery.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay, so yeah, that's yeah. Well, they're gonna. I mean, Kieran Trippier can do it.
Oh
He
yeah.
does. He does play good dead balls. He's very good at free kicks. I know he scored a goal from a free kick in the at the last World Cup against Croatia. They took the lead
Yeah.
from his free kick, so he's there to help them in that regard. But having said that, I mean, I don't think England are amongst the favourites. They have,
Really.
yeah, they've got Harry Kane, yeah, but I think there's a bit of an imbalance in the team. I mean, England will
Mm.
try to play the aggressive Premiership style football. That's the best option for them anyway, because
Mhm.
they don't have enough players to play the possession game. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, they do have
Phil Foden.
Phil Foden and um, and Jack Grealish, who are very good at keeping the ball. Yeah, so that might be something that would help them play some sort of possession football. But I still don't think they're the favourites. They're not amongst the favourites. The way I rate it is this: I think the French are the favourites when it comes to tournament football in Europe.
Mm.
I would put the French as the favourites, and then Belgium, um,
The Germans.
Germany, because they haven't been doing so well lately. But when it comes to tournaments, they know a thing or two about tournament football. So
Yeah.
I would actually say it's the French, the Germans, the Belgians, and there will be a dark horse somewhere. Yeah, there will be a dark horse
As
somewhere. So
usual.
yeah, so oh, I forgot the Portuguese. Yes. So those
You
are
think
those
so?
four.
They seem to be
Yeah,
a very old squad, though.
yeah. I mean, they've got some really exciting players though. They've got Bernardo Silva. They've got Bruno
Or Felix.
Fernandes. Yeah, they've got Joao Felix. They've got the goalkeeper. The Wolves goalkeeper is really good. Um, uh, they've got um,
Neves.
they've
Ruben
got
Neves.
Neves. Yeah, they've got Ruben Diaz from Man City.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they've got a good team.
And don't forget the main man, Ronaldo.
They've still got Ronaldo. I
Mm.
saw their friendly against the French. Sorry, against Spain on Friday. Obviously,
Yeah, the
Spain
nil
had
nil.
more. The nil. Spain had more possession, but Portugal looked really dangerous on the break. And
Mm.
Bruno Fernandes, and Ruben Diaz did not play in that game. I
Mm.
think when they have everyone together, they will be a formidable team. Yeah. I mean, I know Pepe is still playing for them. Pepe is about 35 now, or 36.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably 30-100.
Yeah. But is he going to be starting every game? Probably not, because when Ruben Diaz is back, because he didn't play that game
Mm.
against Spain, so he will probably be him alongside Jose Font in central
Mm.
defense. Yeah, but they might call on his experience, Pepper's experience,
Yeah.
at crucial moments. So I would say, yeah, I would say England are among five of the best, but they're not definitely not top three. I would still rate. I'd say the furthest England will probably get is they could put, depending on their route there, it's the semi final. Yeah, but
Well,
if they come up against the French, I think I can only see one winner. Yeah, I can only see one winner because the French will have 12 players on the pitch, can't they? So
especially with N'Golo Kante.
and and Benzema is back. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm tipping the French to win it. Obviously, it's not. There's no guarantee. It may not happen that way. I mean, in 2004, we would have thought that Greece would win it. Greece won it then. So like I said, there will be a dark horse somewhere. It might be one of the Scandinavian countries. Oh, I forgot the Dutch are good as well. So
Mm.
there's still some. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Let's put it that way. Yeah,
Definitely going to be an
yeah,
interesting one. Just
it's
talking
an
about
interesting.
interesting. Talking
Yeah.
about interesting, one of the friendlies that's going on at the moment, the Germans are playing Latvia. Timo Werner just scored a goal to make it 6-0 for the Germans. So we've got Gosens, Gundogan, Muller, own goal by Ozols, Gnabry, one of your former players,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
another.
Timo Werner
Yeah,
scored. So 6-0, and it's just 54 minutes played.
yeah. So
6-0 against
that's the
Latvia.
thing.
So
That's the thing.
The
That's the thing about the
Germans are
Germans.
beginning to like
Ton,
rev
ton,
the engine.
tournament football, a thing or two about it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So yeah,
all right. We
yeah.
see how that goes anyway. Now let's go to something a bit sad. We want to talk about Arsenal, and I know quite a lot of people will say, "So why is that sad then?" We want to talk about Arsenal. Why is that sad? But
These
Arsenal,
are these are interesting times for an Arsenal fan.
this are
It's it's just
exactly.
um it's just one
So
thing.
what?
It is something that a lot of us fans of the beloved our beloved club Arsenal, we're still trying to get our heads around that. How did we get here?
That's the question I'm going
That's
to ask you. And no one wants to even come and sign for us now. You
yeah.
had Milo Bundia
I mean, Norwich.
from
He
from Norwich. You
moving
guys
to
wanted him,
yeah,
and
and then
Aston
he's
Villa came
chosen
out
Villa.
of nowhere. Yeah, came from nowhere
Yeah,
and stole it right under your nose.
yeah.
And, and
I was looking at the trying to figure out what happened there because when I saw the news flash up on my phone on I think it was Saturday that he had agreed terms with Aston Villa, I was trying to get my around. I said, "Oh, does this mean that he's actually signing already for as he signed? He hasn't signed, but they're saying that the signing is imminent." So I'm thinking
mm,
in my head that okay, Arsenal must have some plans because there were reports that Arsenal made a bid of 30 million, which was rejected, and then they allegedly, put up the price to 35. But now he's signing for Villa for about 30, 30
33.
33 million. So
Yeah.
I starting to dig deeper into the story, and there's this guy that reports a lot about Arsenal, Charlie Watts. He works for Goal.com, and he's the Arsenal correspondent for Goal. So there are conflicting reports coming out that did Arsenal really make a bid? Or did they not make a bid? The people he spoke to said that Arsenal did make a bid, but it's not been able to confirm officially from the club that Arsenal did. One thing is
Mm,
confirmed though, there was interest from Arsenal. Now there are some reports saying that Arsenal made a bid to Norwich, but the cash put up front to Norwich was less than what Villa were offering. Not in terms
mm,
of what the total outlay will be, but what the
okay.
initial payment will be was allegedly less than what Villa was offering. It might be that the total figure would have been the same, but up front Villa was offering more cash.
All right.
I've not confirmed that yet, but that's the report I'm getting. Some are saying that Arsenal didn't actually make a bid, but I suspect that the club was interested, but they weren't decisive in their interest for the player. So I mean, if he turns out to be a massive hit for Villa, and then maybe by this time next season you have the Man United and the Chelsea's wanting him for 100 million, I tell you, it's going to cause more indignation and anger among the Arsenal fan base. So Arteta and the hierarchy at Arsenal better hope that Buendia does not light up the Premier League next season. Because if he does, it's just something that's going to cause more angst and frustration amongst the Arsenal fans. So I would say watch this space,
Yeah,
watch that
we're gonna
space.
watch
Yeah,
this space. Listen,
yeah,
we've seen the guy, the owner of Spotify, come to say, "I want to buy Arsenal," and
yeah.
obviously he's got the backing of the likes of Dennis Beckham, Thierry
Vieira,
Henry,
yeah, and
Vieira, and
yeah,
the other boys, the old Arsenal boys, and Kroenke is sticking to his gun. Listen, I don't want to sell it. Should is
yeah,
selling Arsenal. Should is selling Arsenal, and should.
yeah.
Why is he not selling?
Yeah, the thing is that at the end of the day, for him, Arsenal is a
It's business.
business,
Mm,
and if he's worked it out that okay, Daniel Elk is offering this amount of money, and he's looking at what the club is worth and what he can, if I think if he's going to sell, it's going to be an offer I can't refuse. And right now, I don't think
Have you
Daniel
got
Elk.
have you got a figure? Have you got a figure?
I mean, the
We could
club is
probably.
supposedly worth 2 point 2.5 billion.
And someone is offering you over a billion, close
Yeah.
to
So
about
you see,
1.5 billion,
so
and he's still sticking to
so
his guns to say, no, I ain't selling.
yeah, he's probably waiting for an offer from like a sheikh or something. An offer that yes, he will definitely grab with both hands because there's no pressure on him to sell. This is a fabulously wealthy man who
Mm.
owns. He has a ranch in Texas, which is bigger than New York. So he's got franchises in the US. He's got baseball
Mhm.
franchises. He's got football franchises in the US. So he's in it for. If he's worked it out that every year the TV money, the TV rights money, I'm making enough of a profit on that. I think Kroenke is the type of guy that is happy to keep that just for the sake of that. But right now, the club are finished eighth twice in a row. 3 seasons now, Arsenal have not played. Okay, Arsenal have played Europe. They played Europa League 1, 2, 3 seasons in a row now. Europa League once under Wenger, once under Emery. So this is the fourth season that Arsenal has gone without Champions League football. It's starting to mount up the loss in earnings of the club. I read a report that up until about 7 years ago or 8 years ago, it was up there as among the most profitable clubs in the world. Now that's gradually going down. They're still in the top 20, but it's going down each year. So next season, Arsenal are not even going to have Europa League money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know it's only
So
Conference League money.
he has to make a decision as to, okay, I've been getting away with not spending lavishly on beefing up the squad for so long because I'm still making a profit anyway. But it seems as if things are going to start getting affected. I might need to actually put the club in a position where it can actually challenge for the big trophies, like the Premier League, and actually qualifying for the Champions League. It can't keep doing this. I have to say that it's not just been down to him. I
Mm.
think, it's not just been down to Kroenke. I think the team massively underachieved this season. I think, considering what Arsenal have spent in comparing, compared to what West Ham and Leicester have spent, I mean, should Arsenal really be finishing below those teams?
No.
I can understand if the club does not finish in fourth position, but should they be finishing eighth? Yeah, and when you look at how bad a run Liverpool had at some point, there was virtually no hope of a top four
Mm.
finish. If Arsenal was having a good season, they should be finishing fourth. But they've been so far off the pace, they have not even figured in the conversation for top four.
So would you blame
And
for that? Are you going to blame the players, or are you going to blame the manager,
I,
or
I think it's
what
I
should
think
be?
I think the blame comes from top down. It filters from the top to the bottom. I think there isn't Arsenal really need to start you know having that culture of winning. It can't just be the club cannot just be satisfied with it got to a stage under Wenger that he got accused of just targeting top four and no trophies. It's even worse now. They can't even
Mm.
make top four anymore, and they haven't done so for 4 seasons. And my worry is that if it goes on for too long, this is how it starts, and then you can't get back in. Look how long it took Liverpool to actually get to the position of being able to win the Premier
Mm.
League. They had to do so much chopping and changing to actually get there. So Arsenal may have to do the same. So right now, I don't think it's acceptable anymore. For Arsenal to I mean, if they weren't interested in Emiliano Buendia, then that's fine. Villa got him. But if it turns out that Arsenal really wanted him, but Villa beat them to it, that is a massive indictment on the entire club. That Arsenal, a club of their stature, is being beaten to the signature of a player coming from the Championship by Aston Villa. I hate to say this, but Aston Villa only got promoted to the league 2 seasons ago, to the Premier
Yep.
League 2 seasons ago. They had been in the
Hmm.
Championship for about 5 seasons. So that shouldn't be happening. But I'll wait till that story emerges that that's exactly what actually happened. I think they need to be decisive with their scouting, with their recruitment, and they need to do their work early. And I'm still not I'm not 100% about Arteta. I'll have to say that I'm not 100% on him. I thought he had a terrible season, losing 13 games, 13, 14. Was it 13 or 14 he lost? Not sure. But Arsene Wenger, we criticized the man so heavily, never lost that many games in one season. That's never happened. Never lost double figures in one season. It was appalling until it got to a point. Arsenal lost 5 games in a row at home. It just doesn't happen. And I just think that
Um, um,
the jo- I
Yemi,
think the job
Yemi,
is too
yeah,
big for him.
Yemi, just bear with me. I'm sorry, cutting you short. I'm
Yeah.
just going to quickly introduce Lolade. Lolade is based in Germany, but also was in the game Nigeria v Cameroon in Austria.
Mhm.
So Lolade was there covering it. Lolade, thank you for joining us. Long time no see. How's it going?
Going well, thank you. It's good
Thank
to
you.
be back on the show.
Thank you for
Mhm.
coming on the show. Lolade, quickly tell us what did you see during that game? You were on the ground. You saw what went on. What did you see? What can you report back to us, especially those of us who still got these feelings for us, their Super Eagles, and we thought maybe that game should have been a walkover for us against Cameroon. Anyway, so what was your initial feelings right after the end of the game that day?
So the experience in Vienna Neustadt was quite interesting. I was in the Nigeria camp the night before the game, and also the night after the game. I spoke with the coach, and I, understand what he's going through. It's if we know Coach Genadra, he seems set in his ways. He likes to have no surprises, and you know that he didn't change his lineup from what he's been playing much. But he had to make do with make do without at least four key starters in that game. There was no Victor Osimhen, no Joe Aribo in the middle. The wisdom of Leon Balogun in defense, partnering with William Ekong, was missing. At least those three. And then you throw in Olaino, who has been pretty regular in recent times. So, but in all, there were 7 players he missed. And but Cameroon had a really big team. Draw had 20 players, and just one player joined the day before the game to make them 21. And Cameroon had about 27 or so players, to choose from. So they were more, and even they wouldn't had to put. They could afford to leave Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting on the bench in the first
Wow.
half. So they were really strong. And let's say they had something to prove. Nigeria felt like, oh, this is a season. I mean, a season ending. If some people have said maybe we shouldn't have taken a game against Cameroon at this crucial time, but when is the time to take it? You need to measure
Mm,
yourself, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
against the best.
uh,
Yeah.
against the
Yeah.
best. So I
Mm.
saw the game from from the stands, and I can tell that we had better opportunities to score than Cameroon. They
Yeah,
had
Yeah.
six shots on target. Cameroon had just one, and they scored that goal. So Cameroon had, I mean, they really had a goalkeeper who was in great form on Friday night. You know, keeping out all those. We didn't even have. I can remember because I covered the game in Uyo and in Yaoundé. We didn't have that many chances against them in Uyo. We scored 4-0. You know, so some days you have to look at what the failure of the team in perspective and say, yeah, we lost, but we saw something new. We saw a different. We saw something, a fight in these boys, and I could see it. Pushing till the end of the game. And in the second half, we dominated. In the second half, that's when we had our best opportunities. But it didn't work. Some days it doesn't work, but it's it's um, it's normal to be as fans, as supporters of your team. You want to win all the time, and you are
yeah,
disappointed. I was, but I also was there to also understand how the Cameroonians felt. So I interviewed both sides. So and it was also for them it was a great opportunity to come together and play and then win against a big opponent like Nigeria after a long time. They hadn't won
Yeah.
against us in since the 2000 Africa Cup of Nations final, which was via penalties. And you have to go further back to 1989 when they won 1-0 in the World Cup qualifiers.
45. Yeah.
So it's been a long time coming, and but I got both perspectives being on ground in Vienna, which I would probably have. I would not have if I was just watching out.
Yeah.
I mean, from home. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I saw these two perspectives, the preparation from both sides. But we'll see again. Maybe it will be the next question. What will we see tomorrow?
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think looking ahead to tomorrow? You did mention that the Super Eagles manager is set in his ways. Do you think is he going to go with a same formation? Is he going to go with the same boys that played? Is he going to give one or two other people new call-ups? Because I know Vincent Novo from Ujpes just joined to replace Trusekong, who is injured. Are we going to see a raft of changes in the personnel or in the system we play? We played the last time we played last week. Is it going to be the same old story, same boys playing tomorrow, or different ones?
Well, for this game, I believe there's going to be a different team, more, let's say, hungry team from young boys who are making their debuts, and hopefully they feel hungry. Maybe it's all conjecture until we see the lineup tomorrow. But we already have problems in defense. William Ekong is injured. He pulled a hamstring injury in the 90th minute. And it emerged because it emerged to me that Jamilu Collins also picked up a knock after during the game, so he won't be available. So that's your central defender and your
Wing
left
back.
winger, yeah. So left back, So this is definitely going to be a change in the way the defense is set up. So maybe leading with three-man defense. So we'll see how it goes, how he turns up the team tomorrow. But I believe in front, that's where you've got. We shouldn't be complaining, when you have a player that scored in the 30 goals region in Polonachu, in the season, but he may want to try someone new. Like when I spoke to him, he said he liked what he saw in the fight from Terry Murphy, who made his debut,
Mm,
Lorient defender. So
yeah.
maybe he will start him, maybe not, and or maybe he will keep, or maybe he will start him with Iheanacho instead. Because you could see in the first game, in the first half. Both Iheanacho and Onuachu played in the top of the attack, but in the second half, you'd see that he dropped Iheanacho into midfield to make up a midfield sort of five to block the Cameroonians from moving forward further into our region, and then we put a lot of pressure on them. So. But I'm hopeful that we play and have more luck, because we were unlucky really not to score from 6 really good shots, 6 really good opportunities from the get-go. You saw Onuachu's header on target in the 3rd minute, and I thought, oh, tonight is going to be Nigeria's night. But they had a really a good goalkeeper with really steady hands, which really turned the tide in their favor.
Olade, I want to thank you so much for coming up on the show. I would. Are you going to watch your match tomorrow?
Yes, I'll catch it. Although I'm working at right now, I'm working at the Stuttgart Mercedes Cup Open in Stuttgart, and it ends at 7 tomorrow. To probably catch the second half of the Nigeria game, but I'm positive that I'll see some of it, and hopefully we can win.
Okay, Olade, next week Monday, hopefully you will have the time to join us at 8 p.m. UK time, so that we can talk more about your experience of tomorrow, and obviously what to look forward to in our Super Eagles, especially as we go towards these qualifiers for the World Cup and AFCON in Cameroon. Thank you so much for joining us, Olade, and hopefully we'll see you next week so we can talk more about our good old Super Eagles and what to look out for, and obviously your experience at the Stuttgart Mercedes Cup.
Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you
So
for
much.
having me.
Thank you.
All
right. Well, Yemi, thank you also for joining us on the show. I'm sorry we're out of time now. We'll have to go, and hopefully you will be also joining us some time soon. So we'll be looking at England's first game against Croatia, which is coming up on Sunday. It's the Super Eagles game against Cameroon, which is coming up tomorrow. And obviously to talk more about your beloved Arsenal and going to some transfer season where we are at the moment. Players coming and going, and coaches, managers leaving and going. So hopefully next week, Monday, you'll be joining us alongside Olade, and we'll be talking more about all this stuff. I just want to say a very big thank you, Yemi, for joining us on today's show.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Have a great week, mate. Thank you so much.
And you. Thank you.
So, thank you. So that's the show for today, the football show. We're going to be back 8 p.m. next Monday. As you heard there, we've got a man on the ground watching the Super Eagles. Okay. Watch the last game against Cameroon, and he's also going to be there tomorrow watching Super Eagles against the Cameroonian indomitable Lions. Are they going to be dominated by the Super Eagles tomorrow? Well, we wait and see. And obviously on next Monday, 8 o'clock, the football show is going to be back, and we're going to be having a chat with Adewoye, and we'll be talking to him about what again he noticed from these Super Eagles. Who should we be looking out for? Are these Super Eagles good enough to go out there and win the AFCON? Are they good enough to qualify for the World Cup? Are they good enough to probably be the first African country to win the World Cup? Big questions. Next week's Monday, I will be here to speak and talk about all that. Yemi also should be joining us to talk about the Premier League and indeed European scene. I want to thank you for joining us on this show. It's the football show. And I want to also say a very massive thank you to my colleague and friend, Yomi Omagweja, who's been the producer of this show. Massive thanks also to everyone that's watching us, sent in the comments. Naki, thank you for joining us from LinkedIn, and to Jumoke, who's watched on YouTube, and to others who's watching from Facebook and also YouTube. I want to say massive thank you. Do have yourself a wonderful night, and enjoy the rest of the week. And please do stay safe out there. See you next week, Monday, football show. Thank you.